Hey guys, Buffett Gaming back today, bringing out a video for our weapon blueprint series, and today we'll be covering the standard issue PKM blueprint as part of the shock and awe challenge. So I finally got around to completing this. This has been ongoing for quite a while, so I finally had to dedicate the time to multiplayer to get this done. So let me go ahead, I'll walk you through what you need to do to unlock this blueprint through the challenges, some of the weapons I use and how I did it, and then we'll go through the weapon itself here and check out how it handles in-game against bots. Let's go ahead and back out and jump right into it. So here's the final design for the standard issue PKM, which is heavily inspired by modernized Zenitco upgraded kits for the PKM machine gun. So let's go ahead now, we'll back out quick, and we'll go out to our multiplayer menu and we'll view our challenges for this. If I go to my missions here, we'll go all the way down to shock and awe. So this, to be honest, was probably one of the most frustrating and hardest challenges you'll see in this in the challenges under core or any other subsection here that you can see. Of all the ones I've done and all the ones that are there, I believe this is most likely the hardest, just by viewing the steps and then how much I struggled getting through all these and how much time it took. But the reward, I think, is definitely worth the while. So shock and awe, you can see here, to start off, there's 8 objectives total, so this is one of the longest ones to begin with, but the things you have to do here are definitely very difficult. So first off, you need to get, if we go to step 1, call in 30 personal radars. So for that, very easy. Now first off, when you're doing this, you want to be running kill chain as well as hardline for your perk 1 and 2 slot. That'll allow you to build kill streak kills off each other, and then hardline will be 1 less kill to access a kill streak. So 30 personal radars, again, pretty easy. If you put it on hardline and kill chain there, hardline, it'll only be a 2 kill and you'll be able to get this. So call those in. That part's pretty simple. The next one is get 25 kills with the shield turret. So again, this not easy at all. You need to set this up in the right spot. It takes a while to set up. Very hard to get these kills. You just really need to kind of bottleneck the enemy and patrol lanes. It's just going to take a lot of time to do this. And you're going to need to do it over and over, unfortunately. You're not going to have any crazy kill streaks with this, I don't believe, unless you get really lucky. So it's just kind of time consuming, this one in particular. Next up, call in 30 UAVs. Again, very easy with that hardline streak there. Again, it's only a 3 kill streak, or if that. And again, when you use our kill chain on the rest of these, it'll be pretty easy. So going next for calling 25 care packages. Again, easy. I believe it's 3 or 4 kills with hardline and kill chain on there. So that's easy, just calling 25 of those. Now we start getting more difficult. So this is where you definitely want hardline and kill chain combined for these ones. The other ones you can get away without kill chain because you're not building kill streaks off each other for the most part. But for these ones, calling 20 cluster strikes. So you definitely want to kit this. Again, this is just going to take a while. I believe the cluster strike is the 5 per kill chain slot or kill streak slot, so it's going to take you 4 kills, and if you put other ones before it, you can build off each other. You definitely want a personal radar and things like that so you can see the enemy. And this is going to be difficult just because you need to call these in and get lucky enough to get the hits. So on this one, I recommend shipment 24/7 for basically all of these when it's running. Makes it a lot easier. Just drop it where you think the enemy is or in the center of the map, and you'll at least get a couple kills each time. And that really goes for the rest of these. 20 precision airstrikes. Again, you just really need to use kill chain and build them off each other with the hardline perk on it enabled, so you have 1 less kill to access that streak. And again, just dropping it and getting lucky with the kills. 30 Wheelsons. This one actually went relatively quickly for the most part. Once you get the Wheelson, unless the enemy is running thermites, it's pretty easy to get at least 10 to 12 kills per streak. And then on the last one, final one, get 20 kills with the chopper gunner. So again, this one, not hard. If you call them in, you'll get the kills. Again, it's just unfortunate based on how hard multiplayer is right now with the different meta weapons, how you're going to get this. So again, and then your reward is the weapon we're going to review here today. So let's go back out. I'll just show you some of my class setups that I did to build off this. So first off, doing this, like I said, I did it mainly in shipment 24/7, and I'm going to show you the 2 weapons I used here. First off, my streaks, ignore my streaks here. What you want to be running is kill chain, and then for your perk 2 is just going to be hardline. So hardline, you'll get your kill streak costs 1 less kill, and then your third perk is really up to you. Shrapnel if you're running on shipment. So I did this on shipment. I believe that kill chain and hardline are very important to complete this challenge. So the 2 weapons I use as my primary here, I swap back and forth really, was this particular MP7. You get 60 round mag, again, very fast rate of fire. You can hip fire with this thing. Just running the compensator, 5 milliwatt hollow, 60 round mags, and the Merc foregrip. The other one that I found even more successes was the Thin LMG. So this one is just a compensator, the XRK Pro Twist, so it bumps up our fire rate to around 1,000 rounds per minute. Tac laser, I'm running the 5.56 CT or case telescopic rounds at, case telescoped rounds at 100 round belt, and then the Merc foregrip. And the iron sights on this are nice and clean, so you can get away with it. And again, this thing's very, very accurate, especially on shipment. You're gonna beam people pretty quickly. And then, like I said, run kill chain and hardline, and you'll get everything you need. Now, for your perks in general, if you're gonna complete this, I really ran personal radar, care package, because if you get the right kill streak you want in your care package, it will count towards those kills. And then obviously, whichever one on the step you need to complete, you want to run that here. And then once you get up to the later ones, like the airstrikes and things like that, again, you just need to use your hardline mainly. And then when you get up to chopper gunner, you can utilize the kill chain and use your predator missile and things like that to build up to that, which makes it nice and easy when you get to chopper gunner. You can just get that cruise missile, and then you'll end up getting those 2 kills typically, calling like a Harrier, and then you can also get your chopper gunner. So that's really how I would recommend it. When I went for the chopper gunner, my kill streaks looked like this. I had the chopper gunner, I had the predator missile, and then if we deselect that, then I ran the Harrier. So basically, with hardline, I needed 4 kills to get my predator missile, and then if I got a 2 kill off of that predator missile, I'd call on my Harrier, let that do the work, and get me up to my chopper gunner here at 10, and then all over. And obviously, once I get to the 10, I call on the chopper gunner, and you get as many kills as you can with that. So difficult challenge, very hard to do, but let's jump into the weapon itself, which is what you're all here for. So here we go, the standard issue blueprint. So first off, let me select this, because I did make some modifications here in the gameplay for this, but we'll see at base what it comes with here. So first off, it's going to come with a muzzle brake. So the muzzle brake is going to assist with the recoil stabilization. The cons here are the ADS speed and the aiming stability for the weapon. Now, the blueprint itself does not come with a barrel or a laser attachment. It does come with a VLK 3.0 optic. So this is going to, again, increase your zoom level to a 3 times magnification. The cons is going to be the ADS speed, which is actually false. This does have hidden stats to buff the ADS speed, and it also reduces your recoil by, I believe, about 10% for this. So VLK optic, again, since it is a Russian weapon, it fits on this weapon very nicely, and I feel like it's a good option to use on this particular gun for sure. Then we have sleight of hand. Again, this is just going to be faster reload speed. Since we have typically a 100-round box on this, it's going to be easier to use sleight of hand and reload that thing, because it is quite it does take quite a long time to reload that belt. So use that, and then commando foregrip. Again, this is going to help with the recoil stabilization and the aiming stability for the weapon. So that's what comes with the blueprint itself, but I'm going to run it a little bit different here. I feel like some of these attachments may or may not be the best. So for the muzzle brake, first off, we'll run it with a muzzle brake here in the gameplay. However, the muzzle brake on the standard issue is like a blue or a turquoise, which I think looks a little odd. So I'm going to go just with the standard default to go with the black look. For some reason, they had a blue or turquoise muzzle brake there. Just kind of threw off the look of the weapon. So we're just going to go to the default option to give us a standard black. We'll keep the base barrel here. I am going to add a tack laser that's going to assist with the ADS speed, the aiming stability, and the aim walking steadiness. The con, again, laser is just going to be visible when you are ADSing, so just be careful about that. We're going to keep the VLK, and again, you can see here with the different options how much darker it looks with the standard issue one. We have the default, the wrong turn, and then the standard issue, a nice darker black to match the color of the PKM machine gun. So we'll keep that one. Stock we're going to skip, and we'll cover that in a second. We're going to keep the sleight of hand here. And then the fifth and final attachment, I'm going to swap the commando foregrip for that snatch grip, which is in real life a Zenitco RK2 grip. And again, this is going to assist with your recoil control. I believe it's going to help out your recoil 15%, I believe, is what it reduces it. And the pros, again, ADS speed is going to be improved here as well. The cons is going to be the movement speed on this. And again, you can see default versus some of the other blueprints you may have. I feel the default goes nicely with this. Again, it just goes right in line with the color of the weapon itself. So this is what you're going to see here in the gameplay. Another option that I have here, really my Warzone build that I'll be using, is slightly different. I'm using a monolithic suppressor for the sound suppression and the damage at range buff here. The con being the ADS speed and the aiming stability. I'm also going to throw on the 26.9-inch extended barrel, so that's going to assist with the damage at range, bullet velocity, and the recoil control. Cons are the ADS speed and the movement speed. We're going to throw on that tack laser, again, to mitigate that ADS speed and help us out with all the pros there with the aiming stability and the aim walking steadiness. We're going to keep the VLK optic and then just the snatch grip on there as well. So minor changes, just putting on a different muzzle as well as adding a barrel and getting rid of sleight of hand for the Warzone build. And this is a very nice looking build as well. And then let's go down and dissect this weapon, because as I said, this is a very unique, modernized looking version of the PKM. So first off, we have what is a Sport 6 kit on the handguard here. So you can see the handguard, and I'll show this compared to the base PKM, but we have the handguard is a Zenitco, inspired by a Zenitco Sport 6 kit, which goes on the handguard there. So you can see the bottom of it is where the snatch grip, or the RK2, Zenitco RK2 grip is. And then the top of the handguard there over the barrel, again, you have what is part of the sports kit, where you have the Picatinny rails on the top of the barrel, which could be used to mount maybe like a PEC 15 or different laser optics, or even if you wanted some sort of front-mounted sights, lights, things like that, whatever you want to put there. And then we have the bottom of the sport kit there. Again, it has the Picatinny, which you mount the snatch grip with. Now, for the bottom portion here, really the PKM in general comes with, it could be a Sport 6 on the bottom or a B50 rail, which would go on the bottom of the PKM machine guns. Again, all Zenitco parts. But again, for this particular blueprint, we have the top-mounted portion, which has the Picatinny rails on the top of the barrel. So that combined with the portion on the bottom looks to be some sort of variation of the Sport 6 kit by Zenitco. So I'll show that on screen as well. And then, like I said, the snatch grip there is inspired by the Zenitco RK2 grip. Again, this is really designed to be a cannon grip there on the PKM machine guns for convenient holding of the weapons and firing. It's going to assist with the pros and cons of this game being the ADS speed and the recoil control on this. Now, the other option here, we see everything else really remains the same. We have a black box for that holds the magazine here. So we have the black box mag, which is nice change to this weapon. We have the black belt. Bullets, I believe, are the same color. They're cased in black again. We have a rail dust cover on this weapon, which is the same as the regular PKM. But the other thing you're going to notice here is the stock option. So the stock is actually going to be inspired, again, by another Zenitco part. It looks to be what's available for the PKM machine guns is a PT2 telescopic stock. But again, this is a little bit changed. Could be inspired by a different type of Zenitco stock for different weapons that they create parts for. But you can see, again, it's just a very modernized stock. This one doesn't look like it's a telescopic. It looks like it's a side folding, perhaps, if that. You can see where it would look like it would be detachable. Definitely, probably not side folding or telescopic, but hard to tell. But again, inspired heavily by Zenitco parts. And then also we have a black pistol grip, black carrying handle. Everything's black, looks really nice and tactical. So if we back out here and just compare it to a base PKM, you can see if I just go up, if I select up and down, we have the standard issue, and then the PKM with the same parts that I'm using here for my Zenitco PKM build. And you can see the differences, right? If I go to the PKM here, first off, you'll notice we have a green box mag there that holds the ammunition. The bullet casing, or case, the chain link there is a little bit more gray, not quite as dark. And then obviously we have the wood furnish for the pistol grip, as well as the standard wood buttstock, as well as the carrying handle here on the PKM. And then again, you can see for that bottom portion of the weapon where the RK2 or the snatch grip is, you can see like that Zenitco B50 style rail there on the bottom. Overall, it's just a little bit older looking and beat up. We still have a rails on the top of the dust cover there where you would lift that up to load the rounds in. So none of that really changes. But again, if we go back here now to the Zenitco build or the standard issue, you can see just so much cleaner, so much more tactical looking. We have the polymer pistol grip. Everything's dark. We have the Zenitco buttstock there, which is a drastic improvement. We have a black box mag as well. And then we have that Sport 6 kit on top of the barrel there for this weapon. And then again, black carrying handle, black box mag, black pistol grip, and obviously we have the Zenitco black stock on the weapon as well there. So very nice looking blueprint. This is by far one of my favorite blueprints in the game, and boy was it hard to unlock. And then really quick here, if we customize it, you can see how the different camouflages look on this. It covers the weapon very nicely. The only downside I think to this, which really isn't a downside, if we were to select different barrels, I think everything else retains the blueprint very nicely. However, if I were to put on, you can see the compact barrel and the 26.9 inch extended retain that Sport 6 top of the Zenitco handguard there on the rail, or excuse me, on the barrel. And then if I go to the PKP barrel here for the 25.9 inch heavy barrel, you can see obviously you don't have any Zenitco style parts on it now. However, Zenitco does make PKP enhanced modularities, which they would have basically Picatinny's on top of the carrying handle here in front, or on top of the handguard there. You can see right above the snatch grip. And then I believe the standard wooden carrying handle that you can see on the left-hand side of the weapon would be gone for the most part. The carrying handle is really this little loop you see here on top of the barrel, and that would have a Picatinny rail where operators would also be able to mount, again, like lasers or even optics up front there, as well as something like a PKP bullpup build. The Petronetic bullpup would be a completely different design, but again, on that version of the weapon, they would typically, Spetsnaz operators would mount optics on the PKP's carrying handle in the front, which would have Picatinis on it. But we'll go ahead and back out, leave the standard attachments. This is the standard issue PKM, the Zenitco PKM. Go ahead now and jump a game. You can see how this thing handles. I'm just using it here against bots, so nothing super special, but I just want to give you guys an idea of how this thing handles. And I think it's a really good gun, especially, obviously, we know the PKM in multiplayer and Warzone is really, really probably one of the better machine guns, if not the best machine gun. And now it did receive a nerf way back in the beginning of the game. I think like when I first started playing this back in October, November when it came out, this thing was definitely very OP, definitely one of the best weapons in the game. And they did nerf it pretty drastically, I believe, but obviously it's still very, very good. At the time, it had no recoil whatsoever. It was basically a straight laser. I think they reduced the rate of fire a little bit and obviously added some horizontal and vertical muzzle bounce and climb to the weapon as well. But again, this weapon in Warzone, if you're using the build that I showed and some other builds for multiplayer, definitely one of the best machine guns, if not the best, as well as overall, I think one of the best weapons. And since it's a Russian weapon, I feel carefree using the VLK optic on this. It fits very beautifully. And you'll see here in game, even with just a standard barrel on this weapon, it handles really well at the longer ranges that we're seeing here on Euphrates Bridge. And I picked this map specifically because I wanted to test out the range on the weapon itself with the base barrel to see how it handles, what the recoil looks like at those longer range engagements. And you can see how this would possibly translate to Warzone if you're going to use the base barrel. This is a really good barrel design. The length handles really well. Again, the recoil is not uncontrollable at all. Obviously, the TTK is going to be different in Warzone than it is in multiplayer, but like I said, very easy to control this, especially with the mobility for the weapon using the base barrel, and we're utilizing other attachments there. You could absolutely get rid of sleight of hand on this and utilize something else, maybe a grip or some other perk option if you wanted there as well, or even another barrel like you'll see me do on the Warzone build. But overall, really nice weapon. And again, this is it's good to see something like this that has Zenitco style, or at least Zenitco inspired parts. Now, Zenitco, if you're not familiar, they're a Russian company that creates basically they basically create upgrade kits for mainly Russian weapons. However, they do Russian weapons as well. But machine gun upgrade kits, AR upgrade kits for the AK platform, as well as the PK platform, which we see here. So this is actually really nice to see in the game. And since it's been there since day one, it gives me hope that there must be, I think the really only weapon we're missing Zenitco style attachments to in any sort of blueprint is the AK-47 at this point. So I think, again, what you would see there when you hear me talk about a Zenitco style alpha AK build, again, that would just be Zenitco handguards, even Texas Weapon System rail dust cover, or Zenitco probably has their own as well, I believe. Just a lot of Zenitco inspired attachments, which is really what a lot of the FSB operators use. And there's different type of PT stocks. So the stock option that we see here, like I said, I think it was a PT6, but there's other things like PT5. You'll see the naming conventions like that, PT15, RK1, RK2, RK3 through 4, 5, 6 grips, which is the front mount grips. There on the bottom where we see the snatch grip here is an RK2. They make a lot of different parts specifically for Russian weapons, different compensators, muzzle brakes, anything you could think of to basically upgrade Russian weapon systems and add modularity to the weapons and mobility, etc. like that. And again, they do handle some AR-15s and stuff like that, but if you went to the website, you can look at all the parts, and this is definitely Zenitco inspired. So it's really great to see this type of blueprint in the game, and it definitely gives me hope for something like a Zenitco inspired AK-47 down the road, hopefully, especially since we see that with Black Ops Cold War, the weapons are going to be able to be used in Warzone now. So we're going to be able to select from our Modern Warfare AK-47 and our Cold War AK-47. So what kind of blueprints are we going to get down the road for both of those weapons? And like I said, it seems at this point that the AK-47 is the only one that doesn't have any Zenitco inspired parts on it. Every other weapon, including the Dragunov and the Bizon, that's a Russian weapon here. The Bizon as well as the Dragunov both have rail dust covers. They have RK2 charging handles on them, which is again is Zenitco, and other Zenitco inspired parts as well. So it'd be really nice to see something like that added for the AK-47. And like I said, I have a feeling it's out there. They have it. It just hasn't been released for whatever reason yet. And talking about that, I know we've talked about the FSB bundle, which has been scheduled since Season 4. So it seems like most likely from what I'm hearing is maybe they're splitting up that bundle itself. We saw the riot shield come out already, so maybe they're splitting up that bundle, selling things off separately through challenges or maybe store items. And I think it's very possible we may see that AK-47 blueprint that comes with the FSB bundle could have been reworked or is being reworked to a more Zenitco style or inspired AK-47. We saw something very similar in Call of Duty 4, or excuse me, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, where they had I believe it was some tactical weapon skins for different AR. They had it for the assault rifles, the SMGs, things like that. And the one for the AK-47, again, was very, very heavily Zenitco inspired. So they definitely have the assets. And clearly they have them in this game as well if they're adding them to the PKM, the Bison, and the Dragunov. So hopefully we'll see something added to the AK-47 here as we're running basically to the end of Modern Warfare's life cycle, but we're not quite sure what the support life cycle looks like going into Cold War here, if there's going to be a Season 7. We know there's going to be some sort of continued support for the game as well as Warzone, so it's just a matter of what that's going to look like is really what we need to wait and see. So let me know down below what you guys think of this blueprint, the standard issue PKM blueprint. Again, probably one of the best blueprints we've seen yet. These are the type of blueprints I like to see in the game. We see a couple of these here and there, which are just gold, and I praise Infinity Ward for these kind of blueprints that really cosmetically enhance the weapon. And it's good to see when we looked at the base PKM with these same attachments versus this. It's just a night and day difference. We have just the very old, almost like original looking PKM versus now a very more modern take, heavily inspired with Zenitco parts on this weapon, and it just brings it right up to what you would expect to see in Modern Warfare, a game titled Modern Warfare. So I think this is the perfect example of what I would expect for blueprints. Hopefully they keep coming out with things like this in the future. Maybe we'll see more like this in Modern Warfare 2. Again, that's rumored probably to be the next year's Call of Duty title in 2021 to compete with Battlefield 6. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that's what we see coming down the road. I know they obviously have the assets, so we'll have to wait and see. So let me know down below what you guys think of the standard issue blueprint. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, weapon conversions, blueprint videos, favorite weapon series for multiplayer and Warzone. And I'll leave you guys with that. Leave you guys with the gameplay so you can see how this thing handles against bots here. And until next time, this is Buffering Gaming with the Zenitco inspired PKM machine gun, the standard issue blueprint for the PKM. Until next time, Buffering Gaming, out.